Happy Saturday. This is my exhibition. I'm just gonna switch that bit so that people can actually come in. Okay, so I'll just introduce everyone. This is my work. And the theme was quite convenient because it's nearly Valentine's Day, but the theme was to do with emotions, and I think it's commonly called shadow work, which is to do with going into your mind, like really deep into the shadow part of your mind and digging around and fixing yourself rather than drowning your sorrows in alcohol or chasing them away with drugs and things. So a lot of my work is really vulnerable and intimate. Some of it looks quite sexual, but it isn't really. It's about being raw. But I guess in the world of pornography, people misunderstand things. You can't read things properly. A lot of you see my comic as well. Yeah, it's this guy. Yeah, so I'll show you a few of my paintings. This one's funny, is I painted this one before I actually bought the plants, and then I managed to find the plants that fitted the painting, which is weird. This one, you have to get really close to this one to understand it, I think. It's a very personal piece. I was feeling very like I needed to let something go, but I couldn't. This one was just a mandala, just a whatever. This one, I remember feeling very strange, like this bit represented the feeling in my chest. But it was such a long time ago, I can't remember the details. This is my tomato. I really like this one. I think it was possibly one of these, when it was greener. This is the still life. All of the fruits and vegetables provided by Natura. They're beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I'm talking of pomegranate. Here's some of my pomegranate work. This one has already sold. We've got some of my comic here, some postcards, more pomegranates. Here. It's just some stuff I made out of string. Millennials like making things out of string. I'm trying to bring back the 70s, I suppose. Plant holders for sale. This is Moon. This is the one I did for the Neuronauts gig a long time ago that people said never happened. This one is a meditative piece, but I also can't remember the exact feeling behind it. But I called it Trying to Imagine the Future because it's got lots of architecture in it, and I think I was trying to figure something out with that. This one's one of my favourite pieces, and I called it Consumed, and the poem next to it says, I realised there was no reason to keep running. I gave into the feeling, and I'm infinitely sorry I saw you as someone to run from instead of towards. I guess it's kind of an apology piece. It wasn't very nice to someone. Ego death. This one's really important to me. It's about rejection, all different types of rejection, and your ego just crumbles into the ground, and you have to figure out how to rebuild yourself. Are you going to rebuild yourself in a bitter way, where you feel of bitterness and hatred and anger, or are you going to take the opportunity of this death to rebuild yourself as a better person, having learned the lessons from the past? That's what that was about. Also, it's my favourite colour. I really like the colours. I painted the whole thing with my hands. These ones, these are a pair. These are a bit tongue-in-cheek, a bit of humour, a bit of fight back, I suppose. I called it Jealousy and Gossip, and it was inspired by jealousy and gossip. Yeah, I get a lot of that. I've always had a lot of that. I guess I'm a bit of an odd person, and it inspires. Well, I want to inspire people to feel better about themselves and to use creativity to make themselves feel better about themselves, but something about me seems to also inspire hatred and jealousy in other people, so this is what that was about, I suppose. And we've got some mandalas. This one actually started out as a self-portrait, and I painted myself and it was awful. It was just so bad. And I realised that I'm trying to do something because other artists were doing something really well, and I thought I should be able to do that too. But then I realised suddenly I'm good at other things. I don't have to be good at the same thing as that guy over there. I think that's an insecurity a lot of artists go through. You feel like you kind of measure yourself up to other people, and you shouldn't do that. But we all do it, but it's very important not to. So I'm still calling that self-portrait because it was very representative of something in my mind at that time. That one, this was just a study piece. I was just sitting in the park in Acton, just painting the factories. This piece, I did that after reading Dante's Inferno. Doesn't look very hellish, but I was really inspired by circles. Some Turkish tulips, more tulips. That's me. As I did finally manage to do a self-portrait. This one's dedicated to my earrings that I lost. I really like those earrings. They're only £2, but I miss them. This one was another piece about bullying and about trying to hold your own when people are throwing a lot of their unresolved hatred at you. Well, it's unresolved self-hatred. I think a lot of people, they like to direct their issues at everybody else because they can't deal with it themselves. And I know I'm guilty of that. But I was trying to apologise for it. I forgot to put a label on it. Okay, these ones are naked. These were inspired by the pagan goddesses, like the Venus of Willendorf and the Sheila Nagigs. If you Google Sheila Nagig, you'll see all these little sculptures from the medieval period. And they used to carve them into churches in the UK, all across the UK mainland, Ireland and places like that. They're actually much more crude than this. We don't really know their symbolism, but they seem to relate back to pre-Christian religions and pagan times, and I'm very pagan, I think. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in a god or anything, but I think that I'm quite pagan. And this was about finding the goddess, because when I painted this, it was at a point where I was very depressed and I'd lost a lot of weight. I became very, very, very thin, and I was really unhappy with myself physically. And also when you're thin, you don't have enough energy to think properly, so you get really depressed as well, and you just feel awful. And being skinny is definitely overrated. And these photos were, well, photos, Freudian slip. They were part of a relationship, I suppose, and I felt good about myself during that point. So the photographs were about reclaiming that feeling of I can be that goddess again, and it helped. You know, it really helped me to kind of get to grips with feeling like a sack of crap. And I think other women feel like sacks of crap quite a lot, and men as well. We all feel like sacks of crap a lot, and we really need to start appreciating ourselves and looking after ourselves better. And when we do that, we're actually nicer to other people, and then people are nicer to us, I think. This piece, I call this piece Ciao Ciao Motherfuckers, and this is dedicated to the people that tried to make me feel like crap, because I've decided to leave. I don't really like it here. I've experienced a lot of unnecessary negativity, and I would like to do something better with my life than just serve people's misery and self-hatred if they're not even going to try and fix it. So I want to go to Italy and help with the refugee crisis. Oh, also, this one makes noises. This piece, I did that in the middle of a panic attack. I did this piece when I was, it wasn't a panic attack, but I was feeling really stressed out and upset. I think you can kind of tell, because I like to really meditate on the feeling, and you can feel the stress or the pain or the happiness kind of following the energy lines in your body, and when you really focus on it, you can draw them. And here we've just got some of my prints. A bit strange, maybe. That was the really popular one, loads of people bought that. Just got a few of my magazines that I've done the front covers of, so you can flick through some of them if you want. Yeah. That's my latest piece. This one is papyrus. I had it for maybe 12 years and I was too chicken to use it. This one is inspired by a lot of my guy friends all got better jobs or changed their life all with the same week, and they just disappeared, and I was just not sure if I'm ever going to see them again, and I really miss them. But this was I was walking down the street and I thought, oh my god, what if I never see you again? And just my blood just ran completely cold like ice, but it wasn't like when your blood runs cold, it was like a shock of ice lightning. It was horrible. I couldn't get the image out of my head until I painted it. This piece is an installation piece. As you can see, it's got little Lego bricks. Lego. And the writing next to it says, I had a dream, we were dancing strangely together, and we fell apart and crumbled into Lego bricks. And our bodies and spirits were still there, but we had to rebuild ourselves together. And I used all the coloured bricks, and you would only use the white or yellow. We ran out of bricks, and I went to find more white ones so you could rebuild properly. And together we completely rebuilt ourselves, only now we knew each other unlike before. And it was based on a dream. It was an actual dream that I was dancing with a friend and we fell apart and we rebuilt each other with Lego bricks. And it was a really strange dream because it felt really intense, like it really meant something. And I think it did. As the few months that followed that dream, we really did start to get to know each other better. And that was important. It was nice. I think it's really good to listen to your dreams. Like Jungian psychology says, really listen to your dreams because they tell you things. And I think modern society says if you have a weird dream, it's because you ate too much cheese. But actually, if you had a weird dream, it's your brain and the deeper part of your mind trying to say, hey, pay attention to this thing. And they construct these elaborate stories which make it seem crazy, but they're trying to communicate with you. You have to listen to your dreams, otherwise you don't know what you really want. I mean, we're told to think with our brains and be sensible. When someone thinks with their heart, it's like, oh my god, what have you done? Crazy person. But I think with my heart now. I used to think with my brain and I wondered why I was miserable all the time, and it's because I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do. I was doing what I thought people needed me to do, doing what your family want you to do, doing what boyfriends want you to do, and you should never do that. Because, well, maybe if you're lucky and you've got nice people around you, but if you don't have nice people around you, then you should just take care of yourself. Here's some of the books I've been reading. I really, really recommend this one. This one is amazing. This one really, really, really helped me to understand some of the things about myself that I thought made me kind of mental. Like, I was like, I'm crazy and I'm just going to accept it because I can't do anything about it. But then this book pointed out that I'm not, and actually the weird sensations I had in my mind are actually suggestive that I'm quite different, but in a very positive way. and it's actually healthy. So that was nice to be vindicated. This book, The Rumi Book of Love, highly recommend it. It's gorgeous. It really describes love from a perspective that we don't understand anymore, and it's a feeling like I understand what it feels like now. It's a feeling that you're at one with the world. Like you can be walking through the park and you feel like you've been turned into pollen or dust, and you just blow away in the breeze. And that's what it's like when you love yourself and when you love somebody else, is that you feel at peace, like so deeply at peace that nothing can really rattle you. And you know that if it does rattle you, you're going to be okay the next day. And in this book, Soul of an Octopus, this one was all about the emotions and the powerful brains of cephalopods and the octopus. So this one's kind of some of the inspiration behind this one, because they're fascinating creatures. It's basically a gigantic emotional brain with a lot of arms. So I highly recommend that. It's really interesting to learn about the emotions of other animals as well. And this other book, the General Theory of Love, talks about the connections with animals. And yeah, I thought my cat was talking to me once. I really was like, I feel like she's saying things to me, but I realised actually I've just we're really in tune with each other's emotions, and I could kind of feel that she was trying to stop me from leaving. She was very subtly trying to stop me from leaving, and I could feel that. And this book was saying that, no, that's such a thing. Like when your dog knows what's up with you, your dog is worried about you and he's trying to look after you, it's because you can feel their emotions. So I think a lot of modern society, like technology and especially things like alcohol and cocaine use, they really block out your ability to connect with other people. And they make it look like you're connected with like Facebook connections, or you're hanging around with other people using drugs and alcohol, but are you really connected? Not really. Because when you are really connected, you help each other to grow. You don't stagnate. You grow and you change and develop. And I think I've been really lucky with a few people that I've had in my life recently, because they really encouraged me to do that, to like grow and change myself. And it's quite sad because people end up leaving. Like when you really grow, you have to grow apart. But you also, if you do love each other, then you feel okay with that, even if it's sad. I mean, you'll never be able to get away from sad. But yeah, I don't know if any of that made sense. It's a bit of a long ramble. I've got some other bits in the window actually. We've got here. Look at that. It's got some ham. Got this African guy. I drew that one with my eyes closed. Most of it. I mean, then I drew over it again with my eyes open, because that would be weird otherwise. I'm gonna have a drawing class soon, so I'm gonna go now, and hopefully people will show up. Cool.